Hello, everybody. My name is Sascha Roesler. I'm a Swiss National Science Foundation assistant professor for architectural theory at the Academia in Mendrisio, and I'm currently based at my home in Zurich. And I would like to give you some hints why I think that the planning disciplines should be involved in the current debates on how to overcome the current situation. As you all know, currently mainly virologists and economists are the scientific providers of keywords and the main advisors of governments and the larger public. Nevertheless, I think architecture and urban planning should also be involved, and here are 4 reasons for that. So, first of all, what means social distancing from the perspective of architecture and urban planning? Historically, architecture, modern architecture and urban planning decisively contributed to the development of a hygienic self-image in Europe in the first half of the 20th century, lowering the density of apartments, determining the distances between buildings, and the anchoring of everyday hygiene measures in the kitchen and bathroom. All of these decisively shaped the understanding of modern dwelling and life. Modern urban planning was primarily based on new regulations for the distance between people, objects, and buildings. And in this respect, it delivered a genuine theory of social distancing, we could say, which conceives inside and outside as strictly separate areas. And this applies to people just as much as to viruses or heat. Why are cities the central venues where epidemiology and urban planning intersect? So the reason for this is, of course, the high density of cities. Infectious diseases such as the plague, the cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, and malaria were fundamental problems for pre-industrial cities. It was only in the second half of the 19th century that an understanding of the connection between urban development, hygiene, and epidemiology emerged through a scientific consideration of the city. For example, high outside temperatures in combination with poor hygienic conditions in cities were increasingly recognized as drivers of various types of illnesses. Investigations into the connection between sewerage and drinking water quality, or between swamplands and neighborhood structures, were equal drivers for innovations in medicine and urban planning. So the central subject of both disciplines was the city as slum, and hygiene, we could say, forming, as the architectural historian Julius Posner termed it, a kind of slumology. What are the implications of COVID-19 for the way we will plan the European city in the future? With the spread of the coronavirus, architecture and urban planning are once again obliged to deal comprehensively with hygiene in European cities, but now on the completely different premises. Hygiene no longer appears primarily as a problem of slums, but in the light of new global risks. And 2 planning concepts dealing with uncertainty stand out currently in particular. On the one hand, the smart city concept, and on the other hand, the living lab concept. The first one relates to the ongoing digital penetration of cities. Think of the usage of apps and sensors and the application of sensors in public space. And the second concept refers to the experimental activities in the civil society. Think of new hybrid forms of living and working, or neighborhood help and care. Both concepts contribute to a new epistemological framework for monitoring and planning cities in times of global risks and uncertainty. So, to conclude, why are the planning disciplines needed in times of coronavirus? Here are a few examples. Urban ecologies left to themselves temporarily shuttered city quarters, prefabricated hospitals, or hybrid forms of living and working are indeed examples of how the planning disciplines are able and needed to make substantial contributions to life in a state of emergency and to overcome the current situation. What we need are new types of long-term observations that bring together the learning processes between urban ecologies, civil society, and the sciences. And architects and city planners are predestined to take on this observer role on behalf of societies and to draw conclusions from the new findings for the planning and the design of cities. So I hope you're doing well. Stay at home, stay safe. Goodbye.